Hey everyone, welcome to another video in my series for July, which is World Watercolor Month, and I'm attempting to paint daily in my cute little sketchbook. So far it's going well, and we are almost at the halfway point, which probably makes this the most successful monthly challenge I've ever done, so yay me. And today is Cobalt Violet Day. You probably know how much I love this color. And actually, I just put down 2 cobalt violets on my paper, and you may have seen that the second one kind of pushed the first one. So my current go-to cobalt violet is the Rembrandt one. They come in huge tubes. If you can get them on sale, it's probably the best deal you're ever going to get for a cobalt violet. My previous favorite was the Winsor & Newton one, and I still think it's a beautiful, beautiful version of it. Probably the pans are a safer bet because the formulation is just a little bit more consistent than the tubes. That's a problem with cobalt violet. But anyway, the issue with Winsor & Newton is that it's not vegan, and so I was searching for a replacement. I tried the core version. That was the second one I applied. I don't like it. It has too much binder in it. I think the Rembrandt one is much, much better. For me, the issue with cobalt violet in particular is always, one thing is the formula, which is challenging, it seems, and the other one is the shade. It varies greatly from brand to brand. Some have a bluer version. I prefer the pink version. So this is why I eventually settled on the Rembrandt one, and I think it's lovely. I have tried several others. The Daniel Smith one didn't work for me. It also barely re-wets. So the core one I mentioned already. I've tried the Aquarius one, and it's a little bit anemic, so I prefer... Aquarius has some beautiful, beautiful paints, but in particular the Cobalt Violet is not my favorite. Okay, so those were 2 minutes about Cobalt Violet, and as you can see, we are breaking ground here with an abstract. I thought it would be fun since I've painted so many florals with cobalt violet. It's one of my favorite colors. I use it all the time. I thought I could try something else, and it kind of reminded me the color craving lesson in my current class, which, yeah, we're going through it now, the first round, so that's a lot of fun, and it's just an interesting concept, basically kind of paying attention to which colors you crave and you enjoy seeing next to each other. So I was thinking about that as I was creating this, and I really love Naples yellow with my cobalt violet, so I thought I would add that. And then I decided I needed a little bit of contrast, so my trusty charcoal tinted pencils from Derwent helped me out. And now I decided I wanted just a tad, a little bit of green, which I also like next to Naples yellow. And yeah, that was a mixture between Naples yellow, white, and a little bit of green gold, or yellow gold, I think that particular color is called. And now for a touch of lavender, which I also really enjoy. And I also like the mix between that and Naples yellow. It just creates these really pretty grays. I think they really neutralize each other, these two, the lavender and Naples yellow. So I'm going to take a bit more advantage of that a little bit later. And a touch of cobalt teal because it's cobalt teal and I love it. So I'm trying to find here the right kind of dosage, and at the end, I do believe that there's a little bit too much cobalt violet in that big blob that I have there. I thought about going back, maybe layering some bright rose on top of it, but I don't know. I just decided at the end to kind of leave it alone, and maybe next time do some more exploring. But this was really fun. I also really, really enjoy playing with tone on tone. So here I'm picking some of the pencils that coordinate with the colors that I'm using. So I'm using some pencils in green ochre, and that teal color is beryl green, I think it is. And I'm also using these cute bamboo pens. I picked them up from Jackson's. They're really cheap. They come 3 in a pack. And you can just play around with mark making and see what kinds of lines you get with them. Yeah, fun stuff. So that's it. I decided to just change things up a little bit. I don't know what I'll do tomorrow. I'm looking at my palette and I'm thinking I'll move on to wisteria. I'm not going to do the other cobalt violet that I have in my palette. I think I just left it because I was lazy and I didn't want to remove it. But I think I'll move on to wisteria, which is very, very, very similar to cobalt violet. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll continue my abstract explorations. These are fun. Another thing that really works for me is to leave relatively a lot of white space in these. Or it doesn't have to be completely white, but it does need to have very light colors. Actually, I do prefer having those very, very light washes, especially if I'm using granulating colors. The effect is really beautiful. You can see that on the kind of bottom left side of the first page I worked on, the right page. It has that gray mixture, very, very watered down, and I think that's more interesting than just the white page. But I do need a lot of that white space to create something that I enjoy. When there's color all over, I find the results are less appealing to me. And a little touch of rainbow, because why not? So these are really kind of my happy colors. You can see there's not a lot of neutrals here, but yeah, that's a bit of a neutral. I'm trying to mix a nice gray color. So I'm making an effort to include some neutrals because I feel it adds a lot to a painting. But sometimes also my love for very bright colors emerges, and it's all about finding the right balance, I find. So a few matching pencils in matching colors, just adding a little bit of detail. And yeah, this was a lot of fun to make. These colors are kind of, I think this is a color story that I have explored many, many times. And I have tried to kind of expand on it in the last months, and I'm actually loving that exploration of color. Not just sticking to those saturated bright colors, but really exploring mixes and mixtures. And actually these are the colors that I also love to play in mixes with. So these are usually those tertiary colors that I'm really drawn to, the violets, those turquoises, the gold greens, and also these kind of purplish violets also. So yeah, it's just a very appealing color scheme, and that's it kind of. I'm just playing around. The last thing I'm going to do is add a few somewhat, I guess, abstract flowers, I want to say. You'll see that everything is dry, and just I'm going in with a pen. This is a platinum carbon pen and ink. It's water resistant, so if I do decide to go back, I can, and the ink won't smear. It's waterproof. I don't know if I will, but I just wanted to add some lines. I do feel it needs a little bit more detail. Yeah, that big blob could use something. I'm not sure what, but I'll think about it and maybe I'll have the answer tomorrow. For now, I leave it at that, and just adding a few details with my pen there. And yeah, this was really fun to create. Very, very colorful and happy color scheme. Probably the most colorful since I started this journal. And I do really enjoy it. So here's a close-up. I also added some more pencil. Cobalt Violet has that beautiful granulation, which I adore. And that's it. See you tomorrow. Bye.